Good morning, everybody. My name is Patrick Kesten. I'm Program Director at Computrain and I'm Chairman of the Board of LLPA. I'm very happy that we finally are now able to organize the Global Cloud Skills Tour here from the studio in Amsterdam. A warm welcome to all of you. I know there's many people of you now in the call or in the broadcast to look at a full day where we are going to talk about all kinds of things regarding the skills gap, cloud skilling, lifelong learning, and I'm really proud of the lineup of speakers that we have today for you. And I will introduce them to you later. But first, let me give you a brief introduction on Computrain, in case you don't know Computrain very well, and the Leading Learning Partners Association, LLPA. Well, Computrain is part of NCOI. The people in the Netherlands probably know NCOI. We are the IT brand of NCOI training, the training group. And well, during the COVID crisis that struck us a couple of months ago, we have been able to lead the virtual transformation in the world of training. Because in a couple of days' time, we were able to convert classroom training, the real classroom training, to virtual classroom training, and I'm very proud that we managed to do that. But it was also possible because we already did a lot of virtual and online training before the crisis started. We have a concept, Computrain Connected, where we already have virtual training for quite some years already. And we also have a lot of online training. We have online platforms with training that is available for you to skill yourself, skill your people. And I must say that we have been growing in that area for the past few months because there's a lot of interest. People now have time to work on their skills. And I must also say that the combination of virtual training and online training, and we have that both, and it's not the same. Online training, learn at your own pace, and learn whatever you want to learn on whichever location you are, is while virtual training is more the ILT version of training. And I always compare it with on-demand viewing of TV and the linear viewing of TV. Well, the combination of both is something that we offer quite a lot. And today you will see that in a couple of presentations that we will be doing today. I always say blended by default because that's where we start the conversations with customers. And then we can flexibly modify the programs to your wishes. But still we do have a lot of locations in the Netherlands, and we are now starting up again to give you the option to select either our virtual training or our classroom training on the locations that we have all over the country. That brings me to one of the things that 7 years ago we recognized that being present in the Netherlands alone would not bring us the growth that we want, not only the growth. So together with a couple of other training companies in the world, we founded the Leading Learning Partners Association, and actually Computrain and the Leading Learning Partners Association are now organizing this day for you. So what is the and I will get back to the Leading Learning Partners Association later. A quick overview of the type of courses, the type of training that Computrain does, and actually there's nothing IT related that we don't do, as you can see on this slide. From developer, from data people, data professionals, to business IT and project management. And as I also indicated on the previous slide, we do that in many modalities, and at the moment practically everything is virtual, but we are starting up again the regular ILT in case the virtual training is not what you're looking for. But very big at the moment is also, and that's also what I indicated, is the on-demand training that we have for you. And on-demand training is perfect in case you have some time available and you really want to work on your skills on a specific moment, and you can just contact us and see if we have something available for you at the moment. And I can tell you we do have. So let me get to the Leading Learning Partners Association, the LLPA. LLPA, we founded it 7 years ago, and in the meantime we have grown to an organization of 33 members across the globe, covering more than 52 countries, and also covering all the 14 regions that Microsoft is present in. So we can, and that's also what we do, a lot of projects worldwide, providing a single point of contact for that project to customers, but also to vendors like Microsoft. And we did so the past year already, and well, actually the past few years, because we exist now for seven years. But the past year has been a blast. We trained more than 100,000 people on Azure this year, with all the modalities that we have in the group of training partners, all 33 together, plus also the online platforms that we have available for you and for customers and for partners. And well, you just have a look at the countries that we are present in. And this is not only where we can deliver training, because this is where our members are present, but we also do have a lot of coverage in countries that we do not have a member, but where we have delivery partners. So we can basically train your people all over the world. And that's what it is. We do training, we do certification, but we also combine all of that, because you want to know what the result of training is. You want to know, if you train 1,000 people of your company, what the result in terms of certification is. And we will be talking about this later today. What's the value of certification, and it will be addressed in a couple of presentations. But what we do with the services that we have in LLPA, we not only provide training, but we also prepare people for the exam, and we make sure that they take the exam because we have an exam scheduling desk where people can register, but we can also report then the results of the certification to the stakeholders in your company or the stakeholders at Microsoft. So it gives us a, well, I wouldn't say a return on investment, but it's more like a justification of the investment that you are making on training, which makes it easier for you internally also in your stories. Well, like I said, we provide a single point of contact for those programs, and we can easily run international projects. So if you're an international company, and we're doing that quite a lot already at this moment, we can train your people all over the world. Whether it's the US, India, Netherlands, we can train them anywhere. And especially now in the virtual era, that's become even more simple or more easy, more possible, I must say. Well, with LLPA we have, and I'm showing this because it might look familiar to you, but a couple of years ago with the partner enablement team in Western Europe, we have set up a learning portal, training portal, futureproof.net, and it might be that you have come across that and that you're doing training there. Futureproof.net contains the role-based courses. If you don't know what role-based courses mean, I will talk about that later this afternoon. But those role-based courses are on the platform, and you can skill yourself and your people with that platform. Second platform, which is a little bit newer, is Skills Academy. And Skills Academy is a platform that my colleague Michael Swoboda will talk about later after lunch today. But it's a platform that we have set up for more than 185 customers. And I'm pretty sure, and normally if I would be in the room with you right now, which would be great, but unfortunately not possible, I would ask you who is training or who is doing a course on Skills Academy already. And then normally, and that was in the events that we had in January in Belgrade and Helsinki, well, a lot of people in the room would raise their hands to confirm or to tell that they are training on Skills Academy. Skills Academy is a very powerful platform with role-based training and a connection to MS Learn. The MS Learn certification tracks are integrated there. And we are more than happy to tell you more about that later this afternoon and see how that can be of any help for you. But why are we here? And I addressed it already in the beginning. It's about cloud skilling. It's about the skills gap. It's about lifelong learning. The era that we are in now, the digital transformation, gives us a lot of opportunities, but also a lot of things to think about. You need to be able or you need to have the right skills in your organization. If you want to benefit from new technologies that are around the corner, and we hear about it every day, then you need to make sure that your people do not only have the knowledge of the old technologies, but also knowledge of the new technologies. They need to be skilled for the future. And as one of the speakers later today will address there, and maybe you already also heard that before, 70% of the jobs in 5 years, 5 years from now, we don't know which jobs those are. But they will all have a certain amount of technology in it, and you need to be prepared for that. So new skills, you need to work on that, and to be able to talk about these topics and to use these topics like machine learning, AI, blockchain, to use that in your organization, because those technologies, those bring you opportunities. And if you have your people skilled in those topics, if they are tech savvy enough on those topics, you can outperform your competition. But you need to get started somewhere, because you want to benefit from those opportunities. And of course you know that, and a lot of people around you know that. And 83% of the companies know that. They know that they can benefit from new technologies. But then again, only 60% of those companies have a clear strategy, have a clear cloud transformation strategy in place. And it's even worse. 3.5% of the people in the organizations have the right skills. So now it's the time to get started on working on those skills. You have to make sure that your people are ready for the future, so that you and your company is ready for the future. And we realized that last year. And at the LLPA we said, okay, well, let's bring a group of people, let's bring business leaders in the room together, and let's start talking about the skills gap. How can we solve it? How can we foster lifelong learning? How can we help you be ready for the future? And we said, well, we are not going to do that at one location. We're going to do that at 9 locations at 4 continents. So that's what we did. We started in Belgrade in January. And then we went to Johannesburg and Milan and Helsinki. And we talked to a room of people, peers, people like you, hundreds of people in the rooms, and talked about those topics. How can we address the skills gap? How can we close the skills gap together? But then in February, when we were supposed to go to Singapore, and in March when you registered for the Amsterdam event, we unfortunately had to cancel those because of COVID-19. And that was a shame, but we kept working on a solution. And first we changed the date of the Amsterdam event to June the 10th, today. And we thought, by then, I still thought, oh, okay, well, 3 months, that should be enough to be able to run a live event. But it wasn't true. And the world had changed, so we had to go virtual. And it's not a problem, we can do virtual. We have all the good speakers that we scheduled for the live event. We have them here in the studio today, or we are connecting through MS Teams to them. So that's why we went virtual, and I'm very happy that finally now I can talk to you about the skills and skilling your people. And it's not me only, because I will only do one presentation this afternoon, but far more important, we have very good lineup of speakers. This is the agenda you have been sent to. The agenda has been sent to you. But I thought it might be better to do a somewhat deeper introduction to the speakers that will be on screen today. And the first speakers of today, and I'm very proud that they were willing to do the keynote of this morning, are Michel Ngetja. Difficult name, but I think it's more or less, and they're sitting here already, so that's why I'm looking at the left sometimes. Michel and Jeffrey. And Michel and Jeffrey Vermeulen. Michel is M&O director in marketing and operations director in Microsoft the Netherlands. Jeffrey is Cloud and Enterprise BG lead in the Netherlands. And they're going to talk about many examples in the cloud. What are the opportunities? What are your opportunities? Why should you move to the cloud? Or why would you move to the cloud? Well, they're going to give some great examples and about companies that embrace tech intensity and benefited from the digital transformation. After that, we have a speaker also from Microsoft in the Netherlands, Evelien Vredeveld. And Evelien is brand and internal communications lead here. And she will be talking about culture, because it's good to have opportunities in the cloud. And it's good to know that you need to skill your people. But is that easy? How easy is it to skill people? What do you need to do? So Evelien, she will talk about what she experienced at Microsoft here in the Netherlands and how you can change a know-it-all situation to a learn-it-all situation and keep learning, because learning is not something that happens once. It's a lifelong experience. And that's also what Lurleen will then talk about. Learning is not one way, is not one-time event. It's a way of working. And Lurleen is Chief Learning Officer of Microsoft Western Europe. She's based in Ireland, so she will call in through Teams, and she will talk about also how CLOs need to look at the situation and change, well, also culture in companies, but also about why it's important to skill people and why certification is very important. After Lurleen, we will go in a little bit more detail. How can Microsoft help you skill your people? What programs are in place? And how can Microsoft, together with training partners like Computrain, how can we help skilling your people in the right way, in the role-based training that's needed for the future? And Stephanie will have a couple of examples on what they have done the past fiscal year, but maybe also a quick look out at the next year. A quick forecast. And then we have lunch between 1:50 and 2:50, sorry, 12:50 and 1:50. We give you a little break because you must be tired then having this good information, and you have to digest it, so you can use that hour. And then right after the break, Michael Swoboda, my good friend from Austria, who's also in the board of LLPA, he will talk about how LLPA can help you benefit from the programs that Microsoft offers. So how can we help you skilling your people? We have a framework, the Cloud Certification Circle, C3, also the brand of this tour, and he will talk about how we can help you guide your people in the cloud skilling journey. Well, after that, it's me again. I will talk about a couple of things. I will tell a little bit about the value of certification, but I will also show you, and not in too much details, but what kind of tracks are available on Azure, on data, on business applications, on modern desktop. But I will also refer you to the site where all the details are available, because otherwise I would need 2 hours to show you 75 slides, and that's not what we're going to do. But it will be about certification and also about how Computrain and LLPA can help you there. After that, also very interesting, it's not only about skilling. I said it's also about culture, but it's also about adoption. And Jan Depping and Herman Keizer, Partner Technology Specialist and Partner Development Manager, they have written a book last year about the 8 principles of cloud adoption. A very good book that gives you all the insight on what to think about when your company moves to the cloud. So I'm happy that they are here to talk about the 8 principles at 3 p.m. And the last speaker of today, and I'm also very happy that he will be here today, is Ron Augustus. Ron has had a couple of roles within Microsoft Netherlands, but his recent role is Cloud Success Director, Customer Success Director, I'm sorry. And he will bring some examples of companies like yours that went to the cloud, that went skilling the people, that did adoption, and he will show you the examples of well, that you can learn from. And I think that's a very important thing, because it's not only about the theory, it's also important to see how things went in real practice. And then it's 4:05, and we finished the day. And I'm going to give the word to Jeffrey and Michel in a few minutes. But first I have to thank the partners, the sponsors that made it available, that made it possible for us to organize this event. And Microsoft, Pearson VUE, and Versoft Solutions, they really supported us in running these events, running this virtual event. So I'm very happy that they helped us there. Normally I would say big applause, you know that, but I can't hear you. Anyway, but if you want to applause, that's always possible, of course. Some of you have re-registered after the event in March. We asked you to re-register, to leave your address, so we could send you a care package. The care package looks like what you're seeing now on the screen. It's a bag with all goodies, and I'm not revealing too much right now, but there is of course a pen in it, but there's also something like a can of energy drink. So if you're getting tired and you registered for the care package, you have the energy drink to stay awake. Unfortunately, we also heard of one person where the energy can broke down during transport, so everything was wet. Well, of course, we're going to send a new care package to this person, because it's I think it's nice to have the goodies that are in there. If you're also interested, and if you haven't re-registered and left your address, and if you're interested in a care package, then you can leave your name and address in the questions and answer box, and we will make sure you will receive the care package anyway. And that gets me to the Q&A box. During the day, we will be monitoring the dashboard where questions come in. So if you have any questions during a presentation, then please write them down, and I will make sure that I'll pick the good questions, or some of the questions depending on the time, of course. We have a tight schedule, and I will ask them to the speakers. So that brings me to Jeffrey and Michel. Opportunities in the cloud.